Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is a Stitching Colourist with Shelley Lewis. So today's video, it's going to be different. I've not done one of these videos before. I'm kind of new to this one. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that my channel is solely really based on crafting, to be fair. Either cross stitch mostly or colouring, even though I have not done a lot of colouring lately. I have done diamond painting as well. I do a lot of unboxings and reviews on my channel, and I like to review cross stitch products. Well, because I haven't done a lot of colouring lately, one of the things that I have been doing a lot of is reading. I've been doing a lot of reading. Sometimes I can go a long time without reading, and then I can just read quite a few books all in one. So before I go any further, I've got to do something about this lighting. I think that's a tad bit better, not much but a tad bit. So without further ado, what we're going to actually do in this video is this is going to be my January reading wrap up video. I've recently added an app onto my phone which tracks your reading for you. You set yourself goals. I've set myself a goal of 25 pages a day. Sometimes I meet that goal, sometimes I don't, because obviously life happens and you get busy and you just don't have time to sit down and read a book. My goal is to read 2 books a month and 12 books in a year. However, this past month, January, I've doubled that. I've actually read 4 books. So without further ado, this is my January wrap-up reads. So the first one that I wanted to show you is this one. This is by Richard Laymon, and this is Quake, one of his books. Now, sad to say, unfortunately, Richard Laymon is no longer with us. I didn't actually know this because I've not been following it. I've read one of his books before, and I have this one in my collection for a while, and I finally picked it up beginning of January, and I was just happy. I was in a conversation with my mother-in-law, and I was saying that I was reading a Richard Laymon book, and that was when I found out that sadly I think he was killed in a car accident. I know he's no longer with us, so he only actually has so many books out of his. The other one I've read before is Requiem Dreams. I think that's the word. It's been a while ago anyway. But this one anyway, Quake, it is a very thick book. So what I'm going to do is I'll quickly read what it says at the back. So 20 minutes before the quake hits, Stanley's ogling a pretty female jogger through his living room window. He ogles Sheila every morning, and that's not all he'd like to do to her. The quake might give him his chance. So yes, very kind of a weird one this. I like how it's set out. So basically a big massive earthquake hits a part of LA where those are based, where the people are based, and it's kind of a family is split into different directions. You've got the mother, you've got the daughter, and you've got the dad, and they're trying to get back to the home from where they're stuck at the moment when the earthquake hit. And it tells you the story. It goes from each chapter goes from each person telling you what they're going through. Like first it goes from Sheila's, what's happening to her, and then it'll go to Sheila's daughter, and then the next chapter will be like Sheila's dad, and you do have the next well, you have a couple of chapters it goes to Stanley as well, who, yes, he is nasty. He is a nasty man, put it that way. It's really good. It's a real thriller. I really like it. It's a long read. Now, I will be honest with this one. Some of the words in it are very, very blunt. So if you do not like blunt words and very descriptive words. I can't really say as such on my channel because obviously I don't want to say those words on here, but they're very descriptive and blunt, if you know what I mean. If that's not what you're into, then I probably would not recommend this book. If it's something that does not bother you when you're reading, then I would highly recommend it. The book it's a very thick book. It's actually 567 pages. So yeah, that's a big one. So that is Quake by Richard Laymon. So the next one, because I read that one and it was quite dark in part of areas, I wanted to read something light. So I read one that I had for Christmas of my mother-in-law, and this one is the Home Alone novelisation. It's only a very thin novelisation. It is novelised by Todd Strasser, based on the screenplay by John Hughes, and it's a hippo book from Scholastic. Now, the UK price originally was $2.99 for this. To be fair, I think I paid about the same. I got it from eBay. I am into my novelisations as well at the minute. Now, this was a very, very, very quick read because the text in the book are quite large. Not to mention, in the middle of the book, you do have a couple of pages where you have actual pictures from the movie itself. If you are a Home Alone fan, it does give you pictures from the movie. So is it different from the actual movie, the novelisation, this one? It's pretty much basic. To be honest, this novelisation, it's very basic to the movie. Most of it's the same, but there is different. There is certain things that they have changed. That's different in the novelisation from in the movie. But they're only little bits, to be fair, in my opinion. Maybe if you've read this book or you are planning to read this book, you might feel different. But to me, it was mostly extremely basic, quick novelisation of the film with a few different different details in it. This one it's not that large. It's only 136 pages. Would I read it again? Yes, I definitely would read this again, especially at Christmas time. I absolutely love it. I'm a big fan of Home Alone. So yeah, why wouldn't I? So that is Home Alone. So the next one, now this is what I had for Christmas off my mother-in-law. This is called Natural Born Killers, and it is by Kate Kray, and it's Britain's 8 Deadliest Murderers Tell Their Own True Stories. So basically, Kate Kray, she was one of the wives, she was the wife of one of the Kray brothers, and she interviewed a few people that were in prison. It was an interesting read. It was a really interesting read. It's just basic, really, just the interviews about the people, basically on what they did, how they got themselves into that situation, and how they got themselves into prison. Basically, how do I put it? How they're living with prison life a little bit, how they're living with prison life now. So as I said, it was a really interesting read. Like I said, I had it for my Christmas present off my mother-in-law. I do like reading true life crime stories as well, so I had to, well, yeah, she knows me, so I read this one. This one is 243 pages, so it's not a big book, but it's not exactly a thin one either. So it's an interesting read. It was fairly quick, to be fair. Would I read it again? I don't think I would, to be fair. The reason being is these books I tend to read just once and that's it. It's not something that I really want to go back to and back to and back to, obviously, because the more you read these kind of things, I don't know if you're like me, but when you're reading, you go into that world, and when you going into a world when it involves people like this, it can become, at times it can feel quite dark, and it can get quite dark. So that's why I don't tend to read these once I've read. Once I've read, I'll pass them on the go, and that's why I read something lighter. But yeah, it was a good read while I read it anyway. So that is that one. So the last one of this month is, I love this one. Now, after reading that one that I just showed you, I said normally I'll go into something light. However, I couldn't help it. I had to pick up this one. This is not light. Well, it's fiction. This is Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. I got this from Morrison's for £5. Now, I've heard of Karen Slaughter before. I've seen quite a few of her books because I go in Waterstones and WH Smith a fair bit just to have a look in there. And I've seen a few of her books. I've never actually picked them up because it's never occurred to me to pick one of her books up. But sometimes, now and again, I'll pick a book up and I'll just read the back. And if it sounds interesting, I'll get it. And I'm really glad that I got this one. I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to read it from the back. It's a teenage girl, Emily Vaughn, seems like any other teenager, but she's hiding a terrible secret. A night that ends in tragedy. The night of the prom, Emily is killed, but there are no arrests, no justice. An unsolved mystery. For 40 years, Emily's killer has got away with killing her, but now the truth must come out because they're about to strike again. So this book, it starts with I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to go into detail in case this is a book that you've not read and you do want to read. But basically, the beginning, it starts with a woman, a girl, Andrea, and she's just passed her exams and she's just qualified to be a US Marshal, and she's given her first case. And her first case is basically to protect this judge, this lady who is older now, to protect her because she's been receiving death threats. However, while she's on the protection, she's also ends up being involved with a 40-year cold case, and she ends up basically working on that as well. So I don't want to go into it too much. I absolutely love this one. I really did. And in the corner it said the book that inspired the one Netflix hit, Pieces of Her. I went on Netflix when I read this thinking it was a Netflix series maybe based on this book. However, the Netflix series that I found was called Pieces of Her, but when I started watching it, it wasn't based on this one. However, I've got a theory and I have to tell you about this. The theory that I've got is, yeah, the Netflix series isn't based on this one that I'm watching at the minute. It doesn't mention anything about this book. However, the names in the series, there's a lot of names that seem familiar. There's some things that's very coincidental in it, and it's just, yeah, it's just in the Netflix series, there's a mother and a girl, and she's not yet a marshal or anything. She's like she answers phone calls for the police. Her name is Andrea Olivia, which Andrea Olivia is the marshal in this. Her name's Laura, which in the TV series, her name's Laura, which it actually isn't named Laura, it's just a cover, and it's just other couple minor things. Now, I was talking to my husband about this and I said it could just be me. It could just be that I'm looking too much into it and I could be way off and it could be just different. However, I don't know. I've got the last episode to watch of Pieces of It, and I've got to watch the last one. I loved it. I really did love it. So when I looked at that, they have actually got a book by Karen Slaughter called Pieces of Her, which I've got at the back here, which is this one. That is the Netflix series at the moment. I've not read that. I've only just got it. I'll probably read it sometime this month after I'm finished with what I'm reading. So that is what's on Netflix at the minute, and that's what's inspired the Netflix series. So I don't know if them two are kind of connected in a way. I guess I'll find out as it goes on, as the series goes on. Sorry about the lighting. So yeah, I'm dying to know that one. So yeah, absolutely love that book. Would I read it again? Yes, I certainly would. I really would read that again. And it most likely probably will be one that I keep in my collection. So that is it for my January reads. We've got Forgotten Girl by Karen Slaughter, Natural Born, that word, not going to say it, by Kray. We've got Home Alone, and we've got Richard Laymon, Quake. Now, out of these four that I completed this month, which one would I say is my favourite? Now, I love Home Alone. I definitely love it because obviously it has that. I remember it when I was a kid, and it'll always have a special place in my heart. But for my favourite of January reads, I've got to say, I bet you'll guess which one this is. Yay! It's this one, Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. It has to be my favourite. This was one that I could not put down. If you do like thriller, mystery thriller, marshals, investigation, crime scenes, you will absolutely love it. I highly recommend giving it a go and seeing if you like it. If you're into that kind of thing, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Other people are different from me, then again, I don't know, but I don't think you will be disappointed with this one. So that is it. So my current read at the moment, I've not actually brought up with me. I'm reading the latest version. I'm reading the latest book in the Strike series by Robert Galbraith, and it is Ink Black Heart. I'm only a couple of pages into it at the moment, so that's the reason why I haven't brought it up. So next month's wrap up read, you may have just a review on just that single book, because have you seen that book? Have you seen how thick it is? It's like that. It had over 1,000 pages in it, so that is going to take me a while. So it might possibly be the end of February. That might just be the one that I end up reviewing. So anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Put it in the comments below. What do you like reading? Have you read any of these books that I've read this month? What's your views on them? Would you read them again? What's your favourite kind of books? Do you like thrillers? Do you like romance? And yeah, I'd love to hear it. I love seeing your comments. Put it in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this. I've enjoyed doing this one. It's been something really different. I've really enjoyed it. And anyway, I'm going to get going now. I'm going to get some reading done. I've done my jobs this morning, which was a pain. Yeah, I'm not going there. So I've done my jobs this morning. So anyway, I'm going to get going now, guys, and I'll see you again soon. So goodbye for now, guys. Bye.